Hello everyone, and welcome to the Python Crash Course Exercise Overview Lecture. In this lecture, we'll get a brief overview of the exercise notebook and how to approach the exercise. Let me go ahead and show you where you can find the exercise notebook. Okay, here I am at your repository. Under the Python Crash Course folder, you'll see three notebooks. The Python Crash Course, which contains the notes that we just went over in the 4-part lecture series. Then you have Python Crash Course Exercises, .ipynb. This is the notebook file that we're going to be using for the exercises. And you also have the solution notebook here. If you go ahead and click on the exercises notebook, you should see a notebook that looks like this. And again, this is just an optional exercise to test your understanding of Python basics. If you find this exercise extremely challenging, then you probably aren't ready for the rest of the course yet and don't have enough programming experience to continue. And I would suggest you actually take another course more geared towards complete beginners, such as the Complete Python Bootcamp. However, these exercises should be pretty simple and straightforward. For instance, this very first one is asking you, what is 7 to the power of 4? So hopefully you can see the answer here as output. You would come to this cell, or in whatever IDE you prefer to use, and use Python to answer this question. So you just have to remember, well, how do you do an exponential power in Python? Then we'll keep asking you other questions, such as split this string into a list. So hopefully you remember how to split a string with some particular method into a list, and so on. So just go ahead. There's output examples of what you should be getting. Then you have a question asking you what is the main difference between a tuple and a list. This one you can just answer out loud. You don't have to write anything down. There's no code for this, just asking what the difference is. Next, I want you to create a function that grabs the email website domain from a string in the form user@domain.com. So if you have a function called something like domain get, you should be able to pass in a string of this format and just grab this domain.com. So go ahead and create some sort of function. You can go ahead and call it domain get that takes in a string of an email address and returns the domain.com, the website that email is hosted at. Then you'll go ahead and create a basic function that returns true if the word dog is contained in the input string. And I don't want you to have to worry about edge cases like punctuation being attached to the word dog, but do account for capitalization. Again, we're not dealing with every single edge case that you may find, just the basic idea of searching a string for a word. Then we want you to create a function that counts the number of times the word dog occurs in a string. And again, you can ignore edge cases. So for instance, this string, this dog runs faster than the other dog dude. Dog appears twice, so count dog returns 2. You can go ahead and make a function called count dog to do that. Then I want you to use lambda expressions and the filter function to filter out words from a list that don't start with the letter S. So for example, if you get a sequence of this list, it should be filtered down to this list, soup and salad. And here's a final problem that you can go ahead and read the description, but basically you'll go ahead and fill out this function in order to solve this little final problem here. And this involves some if, elif, and else statements, along with creating a function. If you have any questions, feel free to post to the Q&A forums, and I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks everyone, and coming up next is a walkthrough of the solutions to this exercise.